Well, hello everyone. In this video, you are going to learn about further examples on probability of single events. I'm going to use new syllabus, Shingli book, the 7th edition. This is the second book. The question taken from chapter 11, practice now 6, 7, and 8. I will leave the work example because the solution is written there, so you can study on your own. Well, without further ado, let's start solving the question. So in a class of 40 students, there are 24 boys and 16 of them are not short-sighted. 4 of the girls are short-sighted. If a student is chosen at random, find the probability that the student is 1 is a girl or 2 is a not short-sighted. You have to remember that when we are doing probability, the most important thing is knowing what is the sample space or the possible outcome and the favorable outcome. In this situation, the possible outcome or the sample space will be all students, which is 40, because it's the possible outcome if we choose randomly, right? Out of these 40 students, 24 of them are boys. We know that 16 of them are not short-sighted, meaning 8 of them are short-sighted. The 16 are not short-sighted. Because we have 24 boys, we had 16 girls, 40 minus 24. And out of the 16 girls, 4 are short-sighted, while 12 are not short-sighted. Now we had all this information, we can solve the question. What is the probability of the students chosen is a girl? Probability of the girl will be 16 on 40. Remember that in probability, the numerator will be the favorable outcome. In this situation, our favorable outcome will be the girl. It doesn't matter whether she is a short-sighted or a non-short-sighted. Regardless, if we chose a girl, it is favoring us. So 16 on the numerator, while on the denominator is our sample space, which is 40 students. So 16 on 40, you simplify them, become 2 per 5. That is the answer for the first one. How about the probability that the students is a not short-sighted? The probability for a non-short-sighted will be 16 plus 12. Where do I get the number? Because there are 16 boys who is not short-sighted and 12 girls that is not short-sighted. The probability only one a non-short-sighted students, regardless of their gender. So getting a boy or choosing boy or choosing girl will be favoring us in this situation. That's why it's 16 plus 12 equals to 28 on 40, and you simplify them, become 7 per 10. Quite simple. Let's continue. The next question is, a circle is divided into sectors of different color as shown in the picture. A point is selected at random in the circle. Find the probability that the point lies in the red sector, the blue sector, the purple sector, and the last one is the green or the white sector. So let's solve this. The easiest method is we find out the degree or the sector for the blue color. How do we find it? Of course, 360 minus 90 minus 135, 45, and minus 30, and you get 60 as a result for the blue sector. Now we can solve the problem. What is the probability of a red sector? So the probability for the red sector will be 135 on 360. In this situation, the 360 or all the circle will be our possible outcome or our sample space. Since what favoring us is only 135 degree, that's why 135 on 360. You simplify them, you get the answer, 3 per 8. Next, what is the probability of it lands on a blue sector? We had the blue sector as 60 degrees, so it's 60 on 360, and it ends up with 1/6. The third one, what is the probability that it lands on a purple sector? Well, there is no purple sector here, so it will be 0 degree on 360 and it's equals to 0, and that makes sense. Remember that in probability, 0 means it is impossible to happen, it won't happen at all. And yeah, it is just makes sense because you cannot see any purple, so even if you choose at random, you will never get purple there, okay? The fourth one is, what is the probability it lies on green or white sector? In this situation, if it lands on the green, it is favoring us. If it lands on the white, it is also favoring us. So what we can do is we can just add up the 30 and 45, meaning 75 degree. As long as it lands on that 75 degree, it will be favoring us. So 75 on 360, and then you simplify them, it will become 5 on 24. That's how you do the second question. Let's go to the third question. The third question gonna be a little bit tricky, but it is still doable. It's just involving algebra, so please be very careful when you write down, especially the equation. Make a networking so that you do not make a mistake. One, there are 12 green balls and x plus 2 yellow balls in a box. The first question is find an expression in terms of x for the total number of balls in the box. Of course, we have to add up the number of green balls and number of yellow balls. In this situation, there are 12 plus x plus 2. So the total number of balls in the box is 14 plus x, or x plus 14. Then we know this total number of balls in the box. This will be our sample space. Well, at least in this question. This is the sample space because when you read the second question, a ball is drawn at random from the box. Meaning all the ball in the box will be our sample space, which is the x plus 14. Write down an expression in terms of x for the probability that the ball is yellow. How many balls that are yellow? Remember that there are x plus 2 yellow balls in the box. So if you want to find the probability of yellow ball, it will be x plus 2, which is our favorable outcome, on x plus 14, which is our sample space. It has to stop here. You may not simplify it because it just cannot be simplified. Please be very careful. The number 2 and 14 there is pretty tempting, so that you can just, usually some people might make a mistake and simplify them into 1 on 7. It is wrong. And the x there is also quite tempting, and sometimes people simplify them and then make it gone. So you end up with 1/7 at the very end, and it's not okay. Let's continue with the third question. The third question, that given that the probability in 2, which is the probability of getting a yellow ball, is 2 per 5. This time we had a value. We had the value of the probability. The question asks us to find the value of x. So remember that the probability of the yellow ball is x plus 2 on x plus 14. And now we know the value of the probability. We can substitute that in. Therefore, we will have 2 on 5 equals to x plus 2 on x plus 14. Then you just have to simply cross multiply. 2 times x plus 14 equals to 5 times x plus 2. Expand the bracket, it will become 2x plus 28 equals to 5x plus 10. Then you minus 2x on both sides, and you minus 10 on both sides as well. So you end up with 3x equals to 18. Divide 3 on both sides, so you end up with x equals to 6. That is the answer for the third question. Quite simple. Let's go with the second number. There are 28 boys and 25 girls in a school hall. After y girls leave the hall, the probability of selecting a girl at random becomes 3 on 7. Find the value of y. Again, since we are dealing with probability, it will favoring us if we try to find what is the sample space. Our sample space here usually will be the total number of students. In this situation, it's not 53, which is 28 plus 25. It's not 53 anymore because y girls leave the hall. So now the total number of students change from 53 into 53 minus y, because we don't know how many girls leave the hall, right? And then we want to find the probability of selecting a girl. So when we select a girl, it will be favoring us. That will be our favorable outcome. How many girls are there? The total number of the girls will be 25 minus y, because they are the one who stays. Now we have this information. We can just write the probability of a girl will be 25 on minus y on 53 minus y. But then if you read the question gives us the value of the probability, which is 3 per 7. So we substitute that in. 3 on 7 equals to 25 minus y on 53 minus y. Then we just have to find the value of y. We cross multiply. 3 times 53 minus y equals to 7 times 25 minus y. You expand the bracket, 159 minus 3y equals to 175 minus 7y. Then you plus 7y on both sides and you minus 159 on both sides. You will get 4y equals to 16. Divide by 4 on both sides, you get y equals to 4. That's about the example of another example, of probability with single events. It is still pretty simple as long as we understand the concept of the basic probability. You should have no problem in dealing with this kind of question. Remember to have a self-practice, read the book, search on Google. There are so many ways for you to improve your knowledge. Uh, I guess that's all. I hope it helps you to understand probability a little bit better. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much.